Hi everybody, you're watching World Without Rule of Law. Welcome to another segment of an unscripted moment. Tonight's segment is going to be brief, but I want to talk quickly about hurting each other, hurting our brothers, right? Our fellow man. Sometimes in the wretchedness of our flesh, we do things that we can regret, that we do regret, maybe sometimes instantly. Other times things happen and it takes on a life of its own and it causes regret. But if we're honest and we look back to the beginning, we know it was intentional, and so we have to deal with that, right? Of course, we have to confess those things to God, and then we can move on. But what's our responsibility to our fellow man? Do we need to confess it to them? If we ought against someone, should we hash it out with them? I believe biblically there's a precedent for that. So it becomes difficult, right? Because just like King David, right? He had the great sin with Bathsheba, and for all intents and purposes, there was a cover-up that followed, and he kind of mitigated it, right? Like, he could have, of course he's the king, so that made it easier, but her husband comes home, he tries to get them together so that, he can have deniability. That doesn't work. He sends word with him back to the battlefield, put him out in front, in the hopes that he would get killed, and it worked, he did. And so, there you go, right? Seemingly gets away with it, but he didn't get away with it because God knew about it. God always knows about it. We don't get away with anything in the eyes of God, right? So we can live for years and sometimes decades doing the right thing, staying on track, not letting our flesh get the best of us, right? And then we make one mistake, and when it's exposed, they look at you, or we look at someone, well, that's the guy that did that thing to so-and-so. They don't remember the years or the many times that you did good, you did right, and you did what you're supposed to. They always remember, we always remember, because I'm part of that too, we remember the one negative thing. And so I think that's kind of normal, but it's sad in a way. But like that, on the other hand, it's why it's so important to try to resist those incidences in our flesh that cause us to do that. And well, again, many times we can be very successful, and then through pride or whatever it is, we pride, jealousy, there could be a number of reasons. We stumble and we make a mistake. What's our responsibility, right? We want to move on to serve God. We want to do the right thing, but yet we have this thing that we're hiding, right? So then I think that plays into, I think everybody can kind of relate a little bit to that, but it's just been on my mind and just thinking about it. And so what's our responsibility to each other? What's our responsibility to God? Of course, we have to confess it to God. We have to ask for forgiveness. Again, I believe that we probably need to bring it up to that person that we wronged. But if it's in a situation where we seemingly got away with it, except we know we didn't get away with it with God, but we got away with it everywhere else, that's difficult to do that. And yet, I believe we need to do that, right? So, something to think about. But hope that makes sense. It's just these things that I think about when I'm driving home. Thanks for watching. God bless you.